Hi there, it's Michelle Last here, and I want to show you how to make this slider card where the inner section slides out and then it will come so far, it won't pull any further. And what I've done is I've created a little easel to go on the back so that when you give it to the recipient they can stand it up and it will stay stood up. So I'm going to just show you the basics of this card. So I have your little cheat sheet. So if I lay that here, that should give you the basic information that you'll need. What this is half a sheet of A4. So this is actually 221 centimetres, I beg your pardon, by 14.8. So whatever a standard A5 piece of cardstock is, okay? And now I'm going to show you a slightly odd way of doing it. It works for me. What you're going to do is I'm going to start with an original piece of card and then I'll talk to you about these measurements. I'm going to start with the trimmer and a piece of A4 cardstock. I'm going to take you through all the elements as if you were making your own. So I have marked A5 on my trimmer. So this is 21 centimeters. No, this is 21 centimeters by 14.8. Okay, I'm going to trim that in half like that. Then what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn it so the 21 centimeter end is butted up to the top of the trimmer, and I'm going to score at 12 centimeters. So let's just find 12. Use these useful little lines to make sure it's straight, and now I'm going to score. So I'm just going to run my scoring blade firmly just a few times to create my score line, okay, which is here. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to score this side by 19 centimeters, and how you need to do that is you need to turn your cardstock completely upside down and go to 19. Don't ask me why I do that, because I don't know. I just know that when I did it, it was easier. I'm all about ease. I'm all about reaching the nearest measurement, which will create just a little side flap like this. So what we're going to do is we're going to put a very, very thin piece of glue or double-sided tape across the base here, the middle rectangle, okay? Doesn't matter which end, but you're going to do the middle rectangle. Imagine that's a rectangle, that's a rectangle, that's a rectangle. You're going to put glue across here, okay? So if I just do that very quickly, I'm just going to put very thin, I'm going to use Tombow, and you want to get a nice line of glue all the way along up to your crease line. Now I'm used to Tombow, I'm used to it giving a great bond, but I'm also used to it squishing out the edges. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to lay this rectangle on top and give it a nice press down. If any glue comes out, I'm going to just wipe that off with my finger. And I'm going to wipe it on my jeans. That's what I normally do. And then I'm going to put glue on the outside of this little flap, okay, which is here, okay. Actually, no, I'm not. Ignore me. It depends which flap you stick down first. The way I've just shown you how to do it, I'm going to put glue on the inside of this flap, okay? So I'm just going to put a bit of glue along here like that, and then I'm going to press that down. So I have created, in a second, when the glue has taken, a little pocket. Okay, can you see that? So we've got glue along one end, we've glued these edges together, and we've created our little pocket. Now the reason I make mine with this measurement, there are other measurements, is because if you have the seam in the middle here, when you go to punch through, you're in theory punching through 3 pieces of cardstock, and that's sometimes really hard with your punches. So the way I've done it, if I've made the seam to the side, when I punch here I'm actually only punching through 2 at a time. So I just want to draw your attention to the measurements here. So when I've talked about the stand, which is 4.5 by 20 centimetres, it looks like this. Okay, 4.5 by 20 centimetres, scored at 1.5, scored at 10, 12 and 14, and that will create the little easel shape that you're after. You're going to put glue over this section and glue over this section, and then you're going to stick it on the back, okay, the back of your card, and that will create the stand to hold it up, the little easel stand. So that's the measurement I've given you with the score lines here. When I talk about the front, I am talking about the cardstock that fits on the front. And when I talk about the mount and the layer, the mount is the pool party colour and the layer is the layer on top of it, which is in Very Vanilla. And then when I talk about the insert, I'm talking about this here. The mount is the pool party again, and the layer is the bit that goes on top of it, okay? So there are your measurements. You can pause that if that helps you. So we've created our little pocket. Now what we're going to do is we're going to use the 3/4 inch circle punch, and I am just going to, if you want to be really precise, you can use your measurements on your grid paper to line up where the central point is. I'm going to do it by eye. I'm just going to try and make sure I've got a nice even gap either side, and I'm just going to punch out a semicircle. Okay, so we've punched that out, that's gone through both. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my pencil, and I'm just going to mark with the pencil just a little centre mark just above the semicircle. Can you see that? Just here. Okay, so I'm going to use, this is from the trio of punches that has the 2 flower shapes in the circle. It can be any circle or square, any punch that you've got, and all I'm going to do is punch out the circle so we've got this, okay? So this is how we're going to create the mechanism. Then what you're going to do is the piece you have stamped, which goes on the front, which looks like this, you're going to glue it in place. I'm going to hope my phone stops in a moment, I'm really sorry. I'm going to glue that on the front, nice and even gap all the way around. And then what it will do is it will show on the back where I need to punch through again. So I'm just going to use that as a guide. Now I'm trying to punch through, and I've obviously caught the edge of the cardstock, so I'm going to just try again. Nope. Okay. What else fails? We get a crocodile and punch through the centre with our crocodile. Okay. So there we have. Now I've just I am gonna sort that out. Oh my god, why do all my presentations go perfectly in my head and then go really bad not in my head? Phew, I've done it. Just needed a bit of brute force and lots of ignorance. I did it though, okay? So I've gone through the 2 layers and I've just echoed the shape to see where it was on the back. Now what I'm going to do is you're going to get your ribbon, your coordinating ribbon, and I'm using Pool Party ribbon, and you're going to thread it from the front to the back, or the back to the front, with a nice long piece showing all the way through. Okay, can you see that that's all the way through? Then when I get my insert, and just something to be aware of, depending if you're left or right-handed, I always want to pull mine from the right-hand side. So when you've got your pouch, make sure that you decide which way around your pouch is going to pull open, okay? Get your opening in the right place. Then you're going to get your insert and slide it in. It slides in till it goes in as far as it can go. And just another little side note, when you add the glue to this section, try not to add a really deep piece of glue, either double-sided tape or lots of wet glue, because this has been measured that it should tuck inside your folder neatly, and obviously if your glue comes up to here, it's only going to push in this far, so you'll find it will want to stick out at the end. So try not to add a wide piece here. Then you're going to get your ribbon, and you're going to tie a nice bow, and tie it tight. We're going to tie a nice bow, which is very easy with this nice seam binding. Make a nice little bow, trim off the ends using your ribbon scissors. I hope you all have a pair for ribbon and a pair for scissors, paper. Pair for scissors, what's wrong with me? Okay, so that's your finished card. Ta-da! Couple of things I want to mention before my voice goes completely. When you are stamping the insert, try and stamp to the bottom or the top. Try not to stamp across the middle, which we would normally do, because you will cover that up with ribbon. Another thing to mention is when you design the front of your card, try not to put too much detail in this middle section here near the opening, because you will punch through it. And so if my sentiment had been higher up, I would have punched through my sentiment. So yeah, there you go. Nice and easy, nice and straightforward. And once you've got the measurements, I'm just going to show you those again. I have shown you where that you need to put your glue here, and you will need to also put your glue here or here, depending on which part you stick down first. Don't forget, you're going to put it into your trimmer, score at 12, turn it round, put it into your trimmer and score at 19. And then here are all the measurements for you. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching.